Ben here from Trident Fly Fishing, bringing you another great gear review. Today we're reviewing the Sage Accel. Now the Accel is Sage's mid-priced, medium fast action freshwater fly rod directed straight at the trout angler who doesn't like to cast his rod as fast as a Sage 1 or a Sage Method. You know, the rods that Sage is so famous for. So let's start at the bottom and show you what this rod is all about. Starting at the bottom, we've got a single up-locking reel seat with a nice wood insert. Of course, we're pairing this today with our favorite setup, which is SA GPX line and the Lamson Lightspeed, which is the winner of our 5-weight reel shootout. Moving on up, we've got a snub-nosed half-wells grip. And while that's a little complicated, what it really is a full wells grip without quite the same hump in the middle. Think of it as a smushed in reversed half wells. I really like this grip a lot. I think Sage makes some of the most comfortable grips out there. This is no exception. It's really become standard on most of their rods. Moving on up, you'll find the same great construction on the Accel that you find on every Sage rod, with nice tight wraps. The Accel also features this great emerald green blank. And as we get to that first joint, you'll notice what's missing, the alignment dots. Now this isn't a big deal, but I do find it saves you a lot of time if they have them. So Sage, if you're listening, let's get them on the next set of rods. Next, you'll notice the stripping guide, which is a lot smaller than the stripping guide on Sage 1, because this is a freshwater only rod as opposed to an all-water rod. Finally, it's got the same Fuji hard chrome stripping guides that you'll find on every Sage rod. Finally, I wanted to talk a little bit about the construction of this rod. The Sage Accel is built with Sage's Generation 5 technology, which is a little bit older than Sage's kinetic technology. Generation 5 was used in great rods like the Z-Axis and the TCX, but just isn't as accurate as the latest kinetic technology. Nevertheless, this rod is still really light, comes in at 2 7/8 ounces, which puts it lighter than some of the other great rods on the market today, like the Hardy Zenith. Now, for the most important part, we're gonna take this rod out and see how it casts. So casting the Accel at 30 feet, it's really clear why Sage built this rod. It gives me laser tight loops and the rod loads really well. And so much better than the Sage 1 or the Sage Method at this particular distance, which is a key distance for the average trout fisherman. Even big water trout anglers will make this 30-foot cast all the time. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 at 30 feet. So bringing the Accel back to 45 feet brings out some interesting features of this rod. The first thing that I noticed right away is how much bend there is in this rod compared to the faster rods that you see today. You really get a ton of feel, and more importantly, you don't really have to double haul it at 45 feet to get it out there. The other thing that's really apparent is it's really not the most accurate rod at this distance. So I find that I'm missing the target more than I'm hitting it at 45 feet. Whereas at 30 feet, it was almost always right on. I'm gonna give this about 7 out of 10 at 45 feet. So when I was casting the Accel at 45 feet, I thought to myself, I'm not even sure this rod can make it out to 60 feet. But it turns out, it actually does a pretty good job at 60. Now, this is not the rod that I'd want to take to Armstrong's when I had to make this cast land on a dime. It's certainly not accurate at 60 feet, and I would definitely not want to bring it into any headwind or a crosswind for that matter. But it does get there. You know, particularly with the dry fly that we've got on, it's not too bad. I'd say I'm going to give this 6 out of 10 at 60 feet. So after casting this Sage Accel, I was really impressed with how it performed, particularly at short distances. And it did all right, even at medium and longer distances, which surprised me quite a bit. And what that really means is that this rod is going to make a great rod for the average trout angler, particularly the average East Coast trout angler who's not fishing that bigger water. What we've learned from our shootouts is that most anglers prefer a moderate to fast action rod that's got high performance. This is a moderate to fast action rod with moderately high performance. So it's not quite up there with the top rods that we see today. In terms of Sage's lineup though, I think this rod is going to be a better trout rod for most anglers than the Sage 1 is, which is really saying a lot. I'm also looking forward to seeing how the new 2016 mod casts, which has the same type of action, but is built with kinetic technology and should be a lot more accurate at those middle and longer distances. One thing I found a little strange about the Sage Accel is its price point. While Sage's marketing department says they're building a rod for the action, not for the price, it's pretty clear that with the upcoming mod, that's not really the case. And furthermore, the Accel is priced at $650, so it's not really an inexpensive rod, and it's really bordering on moderately priced. After all, the Hardy Zenith was priced at about $650 as well, and it was a much higher performing all-around rod than this Sage Accel. Finally, I wanted to touch a little bit on line choice. We cast this rod with SA-GPX, which is a half size heavier than a standard line like a Rio Gold or a Rio Trout LT. I think if you wanted a little bit more long distance performance, some of those lighter lines might be a little bit better for you. Overall though, this is a great trout rod and will work great for a lot of anglers. And once again, Sage Accel is priced at $650 and is available with free second-day air from tridentflyfishing.com. If you have any questions about this rod, shoot us an email at support@tridentflyfishing.com or give us a call at 888-413-5211. I'm Ben, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.